You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
I want to show you some of my favorite tanks. I've got about a dozen. I'm kind of been cut down because I'm sort of camping out. I haven't found a permanent place to live yet. But as I have to take things along with me. So these are what I carry in my backpack as I travel the countryside. These are beautiful. These are red Marlboro baby discus. Really excited about them. That's a Formosa, a female Formosa. Now this tank is a 33-gallon, 4-foot long tank. It's got a fair amount of plants in it. The tank has been set up for about 20 years. So it's a really old tank. And it's gone through some pretty substantial changes. I'm trying to stabilize it now. It was the case that when it was in the shop, I was constantly selling plants out of it. And I still do some of that because plants do real well in here. There they are. I have eight little discus. Various plecos in here. Most of them are bushy nose. I have some rabbit snails and what are these called? Devil snails. I don't know why they're called devil snails. They're kind of pretty. They get a lot of color in them. There's some cardinals back there. In fact, I've got a couple of those little veil cardinals, long fin cardinals. Not a whole lot of fish in here. I don't have a whole lot of fish. There are a couple of rice fish back there. You can kind of see them. What is he swimming around in a circle? Did you see that? Look at him. Swimming in a circle. I think it's because he's alone. A little tetra. And it's the only one of his species. So he's trying to be friendly with himself, I guess. Funny stuff. Oh, there's another one. Okay, that's the 33 long. This is a 40 breeder. Now, again, there's not a lot of fish in here. What is in here are a hatching of about 30 baby crevenses. And you'll see them moving around. They're all spread out. Once I took the parents out, then they started spreading out. So they're kind of all over the tank now. And there's not much else in here. I think I've got a couple of plecostomus, some albinos, a bushy nose. I have some pseudomygales, just 4, I think. And there may be some pygmy catfish, pygmy cories. Not much else in here. So I really want to give these plecostomus a chance to kind of jump up. Look at this. Look at this. They're moving around in smaller groups, but a lot of them are separated and they're just kind of spread out. There's a pseudomygale up there. It's a male, I think. I don't know what I've got for sex of the cinnamon gills. I think it's one female and three males, so not a good mix, but it is what it is. Well, this is one of my absolute favorite tanks. This is a 2900. It's got a bunch of rams in it. A really deep substrate and a deep um, live food foundation. A lot of leaves, there's some bettas. I think the rams are, they either have spawned or act like they're gonna, but they always act like they're gonna. Really interesting tank, so much really, really cool stuff in it. And the rams are always so pretty. Now I do have a heater in this, so I've got it up to about 84. The first tank we looked at has a heater, 85 degrees. Second one does not, so it's down in the mid 70s. I have a heater in this little area. There's some pseudomycal in here. I really like them a lot. Got a couple of species. Okay. These are balantedaquariums. I've shown these before. Stunning little fish. I've got 4 of them in here. I just saw 3. And there's a colony of bettas in here. About 4 females and 1 male. Look at them. The females kind of tear each other up a little bit, but not so bad that they're damaged by it. I mean, they're not harmed by it. That kind of fin nipping is pretty normal for bettas, and they grow back. Now, what I wanted to do, I need to open a food container here because we're coming down to the salt. Did I show you? I've got shrimp in here. I don't know if we'll see any. I saw half a dozen when I was planning this. Now I don't see any. There are a bunch of shrimp in here. They're all being difficult. I don't know if you see it or not. I don't. I keep thinking that's one on there, but it's not. You see, I've got a little algae in here. It's kind of I call it a fuzz algae. It's not really a string algae. It's more like fuzz. It's a fuzzy algae. I don't see any shrimp. I've got blues and reds and some plain. Ooh, look at those two. The males, they're probably breeding. One of the benefits of a tank like this is that babies have a chance, a small chance, but a chance of surviving in it, finding food and being able to grow big enough to achieve escape velocity. So that's the plan. That's why one of the reasons I like to do these native tanks or natural. They're nature tanks. They're not natural so much as they're really a nature tank. I'll look over here a minute. Okay, let's go down to the saltwater. Now this tank is amazing. This is a 29 tall. There are about a dozen fish in here. couple of clowns up here. That's a coral beauty. It's an angel, a small angel. This is a local fish from out of the creek. Not sure what it is. And then there are half a dozen gobies, about 5 different kinds of gobies, including this mandarin. I have 2 mandarins in here. There they are, both together. Look at that. Really cool. I don't know if it's a pair. We can only hope. They have spawned in captivity. They had a spawn at Fatherfish once upon a time, some years ago. A friend of mine spawned them many years ago. That's a watchman goby. He's really away from me. There are some bicolored blennies in here. There are a couple of native gobies, blennies, whatever they are. The thing that's neat about this tank is you can sit here and watch it, and fish will pop up. You'll see them come out, and then they'll be gone, like the mandarins. That's just such an exquisite fish. And they're really showing off. They don't always show off like that. So that's kind of nice. That's the watchman. I think it's a watchman. I think, maybe not. No, it's not. It's not a watchman. I think I've got a watchman or 2. Let me try a little more food, see if I can get anybody else to come in. The gobies are pretty shy. They're back on the rocks most of the time, but every once in a while, one of them will pop out. I've never had them both visible at the same time together like this. It was a long time before I realized I had 2. I put them in 6 months ago. These are a coral, a zoanthid coral. Under a blue light, they iridesce bright green. They're really pretty. They're just kind of plain white light, so there's no iridescent property to it. Here's the watchman. Are you there? Now, this tank, this is the other Saltwater. This has local natives in it. Mostly green. This is a saltwater tank. Green sailfin mollies that were caught in saltwater, and a couple of big killies. There's one. I think that's the female. There's a big male in here as well, much bigger than yours. Hiding in the plants. So the tank has about a dozen fish in it. And they're big fish. They're not little tiny ones. It just kind of happened that way. But it's growing lettuce like a weed. It's amazing how it's just exploding in here. I cleaned a bunch of it out. It got so thick, light wasn't penetrating. There's some of those sailfin. How pretty they are. Iridescent blue in the tail, that high dorsal fin. Well, all right. There you are. There are a few of my favorite tanks. Thought I would share that. Thought somebody might enjoy it. I know there's always interest in showing my tanks. Thought I'd spend a little more time. So thanks a lot for plugging in. Let's listen to to Nala one more time.
You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
Nala is my granddaughter. She's 10 years old. I went to visit her last summer, and she said, Grandpa, you need to work on your thumbnails. So I've been working on my thumbnails. Bright little kid. All right, well, thank you. Good to be with you. Bless you all. Love you much. Bye for now.